Agasthiyar Namaha. Om Agasthiyar Namaha.
Thank you, Sister Hema. We'll now start the chapter, Purpose of Life. With the question, what is the purpose of life? Why do we live? In mind, Gajraj Swamigal prayed, bowing to the loving Ganapati, bowing to Divine Mother, I am requesting an appropriate response regarding life and living for the sake of the world. It is an undeniable fact that man is born on this earth. Yet, why are we born? What are our duties? I request you to remove this veil and give us light that can be understood by all with your grace. Sage Agastya says, you are asking a question that will bring light to the people of the world. First, reflect on who you are. Man is made up of the physical body and the astral body, comprising of intellect and senses that surround the soul. So, does you indicate your body, your mind, or your soul? When you gain true knowledge that you are not the body nor the mind, then you will realize that you are the soul. The goal of the soul is to return to the place it has come from. However, Maya conceals this knowledge for some time in some people and for some lifetimes in others. It is only when the person reaches self-realization does he realize that he is but a soul. The moment the soul realizes its true nature, it yearns to return to the Supreme.
So here, Appa is saying something very significant. He's saying, we all hear this. You're a soul. You're not a body. You're not a mind. But it is very hard for us to understand the concept because we are living in a world that is created by the illusion or Maya that is very, very real to us. The body we are touching, we're thinking. So how is it that we can understand we are a soul? So before we can even come to that conclusion, and many of us are not even aware that there is something beyond the human body and this physical life. Until that knowledge comes, we keep coming back to this world or being reborn again or taking birth again and going through life, living life, being born, going through the problems and enjoying the joyful moments and then dying. It goes on and on. So that is why Appa is saying, Maya conceals this knowledge of your true nature. The true nature of the soul is bliss, which is beyond all suffering, beyond all duality. And it conceals this knowledge for some time in some people. That means some people are more fortunate in the fact that they realize more quickly what the purpose of life is and try to achieve that. And then there are many who live lifetimes, so many hundreds of lifetimes, going through the same cycle over and over again.
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting. Like how Maya teases you, makes you live in a make-believe world. It doesn't allow you to, it takes self-discipline and a way of life to separate the real and the illusion.
And it is very hard, very hard. I mean, you talk to anybody, they're going to say, what do you mean? I'm the soul. I'm living here. I have to eat. My body is hungry. I have a mind, I think these thoughts, all these things are happening, and you're telling me that is not real. So we are all experiencing the same illusion. That is why we are all seeing the same things and hearing the same things. That's why this seems so real. It's every soul is connected to the other, and we're all emanating from the absolute. So our consciousness, without our knowledge, is connected. So we see everything as real. This illusion as real. And to get rid of that is one of the hardest tasks for all of us, including me, including you, including all of us who are still on the path. But it is something that others who have gone before us have shown can be done. Our great rishis, our great leaders like Yogananda and Paramahamsa, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Ramana Maharshi, they've all showed us and demonstrated that it can be done. And we too can reach that. But it is not easy.
But there's hope, yeah. So to continue, man is that which is composed of the mind and the body, which has the five senses, that is around the soul. Hence, we must reflect on the three aspects of three aspects of body, mind, and soul when talking about man. This soul that has intellect and form is the light of knowledge that has emerged from Paramatma. Hence, the soul itself has no duty. Yet, there is a magnetic force that is inherent in this soul that desires to be freed from the body and return to the place it has come from. The soul is caught in the vessel called Maya because of its own doing. If the soul must get liberated, then the body and mind must become pure.
So
That is why,
So that is what is happening. Is if you, as you read Vazhipaadu, you'll understand that what he says is knowledge is an all-pervading micro material in the universe. So from what I've understood from reading this Vazhipaadu is that Appa is saying that each soul is here to express and experience. So in expressing and experiencing, we are creating our own Maya, the own illusion, the own ties and bonds that keep us in this world, coming back again and again. So in order for us to release that, because the soul inside knows its true self and it wants to return there. And once we become aware of that, we want to get freed from this body and mind and we want to go back to Paramatma. But for that, because everything around us is energy, the absolute is energy, we are all energy, we are all vibrating at different levels. We need to come to a place where we can vibrate at a higher level. And then how can we do that? By living a righteous life, by making a body and mind so pure that we can vibrate at that level and be completely released from the bonds of Maya.
yeah, true. So that is why the soul is teaching the mind some righteous paths as given by God. The duty of the mind is to show the righteous path to the body that has different limbs. However, the mind is like a drunken monkey and loses its focus sometimes. The five senses that are caught in its grip slip and go elsewhere than the path they must take. The responsibility of taking the physical body on the right path is given to the intellect. However, like a drunken monkey, it sometimes instigates man to act wrongly and leads him down the wrong path. Understanding what has been explained so far, let us see how an average man must live. The precepts given by God have been changing in accordance with the times.
This is very important again. Appa saying the precepts given by God have been changing in accordance with the times. See, we are one of the biggest mistake most of us do is we try to stay strictly rigid. The Vedas said this, so we have to do this. The Puranas said this, so we have to do this. But Appa is telling us in this one sentence that things can change according to the environment, the time frame we are living in, the yuga we are living in, and what is happening around us. There was a time when a pati, vrita, and patni, the role of a wife was very different than what it is now. So we cannot apply those strict guidelines right now to all the women of the world because we have now other roles as well. So we must be flexible, is what Appa is saying, that it is okay to behave the way it is needed in each period of time. And righteousness, as Sister Hema was saying, what is righteousness? Righteousness, the whole idea of righteousness can vary a little bit here and there. It's not, I'm not saying anything wrong is good. I'm just saying righteousness can be defined and redefined as we go in life. And that's what I understand from this.
So Agastya goes on to say, the primitive man lived a simple life in harmony with the nature around him. As time passed, man started looting nature, which can be likened to a tunnel of gold for pleasure. He did not pay any heed to the fact that it is nature that is vital in sustaining his life and other living things like him. This is the biggest sin that he is committing without even understanding it. This is the first mistake he has made in his duty. Having been born, he has forgotten that the animal life forms that were born along with him are part of God's creation. They are souls just like him, and he is looting them at an excessive rate. This is the second error that he is committing that is against the duty he was to discharge. Man has become a great sinner who has forgotten that the thousands of life forms are his own brothers. He is mercilessly hunting, hurting, and eating them. This is a big sin he is committing against the Creator. This is demonic behavior. It is distasteful to see all this.
And
Even though there are many opportunities.
At this point,
Yeah.
Appa is talking about man and nature and life forms around him. And he says, we're forgetting that one of the main important things as human is to live in harmony with nature. And he's talking about how we're looting them at an excessive rate. So, see, he's not saying completely, thou shalt not kill, completely, no. He's talking at an excessive rate, cutting down trees, because we know we have to cut down trees to, use it for wood. But the excessive is the word that we have to look at here. So he's saying everything in moderation as needed, but not for pure pleasure, but for need, not the want, but for the need. And then, we see news about people going to certain places for a pleasure of hunting. They go on a vacation so they can hunt animals. Hunting is actually a sport in some of the countries. So he's saying all this is not right. In fact, there was a YouTube video of a lady, young woman, trying to eat a live octopus. How far as humans have we come down when we can eat something or try to eat something that is live, causing it pain? So that is what he's saying is so distasteful.
Yeah. So it is distasteful to see all this, even though there are many opportunities for man to understand why he was created, he does not have the curiosity to do so. That is why man must consider others as his own family and help them to live a good life. This is one of his primary duties. Instead of this, what is it that is actually happening? Once in a while, he attends a spiritual event, sits and listens intermittently like a cow chewing food that he has hurriedly eaten that day. He then claps his hands along with all the others assembled there, and once the group disperses, returns to his old way of life. Once he returns home, he closes the door even though it is still daylight, and like a blind person brings darkness into his home and to those that surround him.
This is so beautifully.
Many a man,
This
yeah,
is so beautifully explained because Appa is saying, we see a lot of people, including all of us too. We go to attend so many spiritual events, but how many of us really come back and practice what has been taught to us? Out of the hundreds who go, many sit there and kind of listen to it. They're very happy, they clap. Then they come back and everything is forgotten. And that is what Appa's talking about. He's saying, when you listen to somebody who's spiritual, you have to go back to them, learn from them, become more, practice what you have learned. But that is not happening. So just merely going to church or temple or doing the rituals is not going to help us. But we need to learn from those discourses, understand it, and not come back and close the door and bring that same darkness we were living in back into our lives.
So, to continue, many a man who is born expends all his energy on satiating his carnal appetite, and then, once he gains satisfaction in it, spends the rest of his life struggling to bring up his children. Every day, returning from work, he eats a big meal, drinks alcohol and medicine, and goes to sleep. When the alarm rings again in the morning, he jumps up from the bed, hurriedly finishes his daily ablutions, without bothering to understand or appreciate what he's eating, swallows his food, and hurriedly gets into his vehicle. Then, without even being conscious of the rapid beating of his heart, he returns to his workplace. Such a man does not understand who he is, why he is born, and what the relationship is between him and the world. He does not understand the relationship between him, his family, and others beyond his circle. His limited sphere of thought is confined only to himself and his family. His only idea is that he must enjoy life. Such a man gets caught in the cycle of birth and rebirth and returns repeatedly in an endless cycle.
This is again a beautiful, beautiful explanation of how we lead our lives, most of us. The person, it is a routine we have. We go through life, we are born, we go to school, we, get married, have children, struggle to bring them up. And every day is a mindless routine where we are running to get our work done, running to buy this, running to take care of this. So, amidst all that, where are we taking the time to find out who we are, why we are here, what is this creation all about, what is the purpose of life? So that is why so many of us are also guilty of saying, oh, as long as me, my husband, and my children are happy, we're good. But here Appa is saying the limited sphere of thought is confined only to himself and his family. How many of us are guilty of that? Because we do not look at everybody around us as fellow human beings, brothers and sisters, who are also part of a big, larger world family. So he's asking us, the people who are following him, his teachings, to start opening up our mind beyond our husband, our child, sisters, and brothers and parents to the bigger world, bigger family around us.
So Appa also says,
So I have got one doubt out here.
Sister,
See,
yeah,
most of us do what is said over here only. Every day, even for in my family also, every day morning I get up, do my rituals, go, come back. But what more should be done? Actually,
what more should be done is beginning to understand and reflecting and living in a way that we can understand the purpose of life, understand what our soul is, realize our true self. So we can walk on the path of spirituality and end the cycle of life and death. Do we want to keep coming back, life after life, life after life? If we wanted, And God is not going to stop it. Appa's already said the desire to be reborn is not God's will, but man's desire. And as long as we have desire, we're going to keep coming back. But is it going to be just the desire? Is it going to be just the joy? We're going to suffer. Because until we become pure, we are going to commit mistakes. And as we commit mistakes, we create karma. As we create karma, we go through suffering. And when we suffer, we say, oh my God, why did you create me? Why was I born? How many of us have said that? So do we want to do that over and over and over again? Or do we want to get off the merry-go-round? We can sit on the merry-go-round and keep going. Come back, go through it, keep going through it, go through different experiences. But ultimately, we will not be happy. You know why? Look at all the famous people around us. How many famous people have, killed themselves? They had everything. They had wealth, they had beauty, they had fame. They even had, everything, money, nothing. They didn't lack anything, but the soul is constantly wanting to go back to its pure state. And that dissatisfaction is in every single man on this earth. However famous, however beautiful, however rich. And because of that, we can be more wise now and say, do I want to come back and keep doing this? Yes, I can come back. I can be a man next time. I can be a rich man's son next time, or I can be a famous son, or I can be anything. But I am going to keep going through this drama of life. So God will let you do that as long as you want. But do you want to get rid of that? So if you want to get rid of that, what do you need to do? First, understand knowledge of why we are here, what we need to do to get out of that. And one of the main things Appa keeps repeating is being good. As simple as it may seem, being good is the foundation of all spiritual life. It doesn't matter what mistakes we have done before. We need to change. And even if we try and make mistakes and we still, try to change and we make mistakes, it's okay. We need to keep trying because we need to become purer. Can I wake up today and say, I am pure? I cannot, because I still have negative thoughts. I still talk bad of people, or I'm just giving you examples. So we don't want to do that. And that is what Appa is saying here.
If
Thank
I
you.
may add, if I may add to answer Hema's question, yes, living our life, taking care of our family, doing our job is our, necessity, which we have to go through since we are born on this earth. So in that, in the course of our daily life, I think what Appa says is we have to take time to question ourselves. That's all. I think we have to make time for, introspection on why we are born and what we can do. So I think that is what we can do is my take on it.
Yes, perfect. That is beautiful. That is what is popularly known as mindfulness.
Yeah, be conscious, correct. True. And I think reading these books also will help us in understanding what we should be doing, the way forward, so to speak. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Appa's next
He also has one
message is,
sentence.
pardon?
There's one more sentence in the chapter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Appa's suggestion is, in order to change the character of such people, we choose some good people and work through them to show humanity the righteous path.
And once again, and we're going to stop with this because we're running out of time, but this is again very important because from what I've been reading, whether it is through the Sahajamark or through other predictions, and even Siddha Guru has said that from Malaysia, this period is a period of Appa Agastya. He is here taking the lead role in changing the direction of the world. And he's doing that not just through one person, but he's doing it through many, many individuals around the world. Not just India, but around the world. He is choosing people. He is working through them to change the direction of this earth. And that is so very important because the world has gone so completely crazy at this point in time. Look at all the wars, look at the terrorism, look at how people are so confused about who they are anymore. You have all these different ideas coming up. The children are being killed by the parents, like we already know. There's so much, confusion. There is so much, dissatisfaction in everybody. There is stress. There is anger. So Appa is trying to bring this back to the basics of being good and leading a righteous life. And he is doing it through many, many great individuals or blessed individuals around the world. Vazhipaadu was also given to this effect through one of those individuals, which is Swamigal. So ultimately, each one of us here, who are reading the books, who are part of the Agastya consciousness group or anything connected with Appa, are all also contributing to his work by just reading it, by changing ourselves, because when we change ourselves, it changes the people around us and the society around us. It has a positive impact. So the least we can do is follow Appa's words, read his words, understand his words, and live that way. So we are almost out of time. So when anybody wants to chant the final mantra.
I think you can go ahead, Anu.
So we will, I'll chant once and then we'll close the meeting and we can continue chanting. And as usual, we will do a little bit of meditation in our own homes. Always remember to meditate in the same spot. Always sit comfortably. It doesn't matter if you sit on a chair or you sit cross-legged, as long as you can sit for a long time and you're still. Because being still is so very important while meditating. And I am not saying this as a guru, I'm just saying this from what I've read from Appa Agastya's words. And sit still, keep your spine straight, forget about the whole world, forget about your phone, forget about the family, forget about everything else. Give 10 minutes at least each day if you can to learning about yourself. So what you're going to do in the beginning of unless you're already practicing and you know some methods of meditation, you're going to learn to watch your breath, the incoming and outgoing breath. You're going to close your eyes, focus on the center between the eyebrows, which is the Ajna chakra, the portal of knowledge. And you can chant any mantra you want. You can just chant Om or Appa Agastya. And if there are thoughts coming, just let them go. Don't follow the thoughts. And that's very important to remember because we do that. We see something and we immediately think about that, and that leads to another thought. And before we know, we are miles away. So don't follow the thought. Let it go. Chant the mantra because mantras always bring you back to focus. And the only thing we are learning in the beginning, as we are sitting here after the sessions and meditating, is learning to sit still, learning to watch our breath, learning to control our thoughts, and more importantly, we are learning to withdraw our senses from the outside world. It will happen gradually as we practice. We do not expect lights and sounds and stuff happening as soon as we sit with our eyes closed. All that will come later in our meditation, as we meditate each day. But for now, this is all we're going to practice. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to remember everything that Appa is telling us through these books and try to be good. try to lead righteous lives and watch our thoughts and actions, what we see, what we speak, how we react to people every day. So with this, I'm going to chant and close this meeting, but continue meditating. We'll start with, you sit straight, close your eyes. Now slowly breathe in, watch your breath, let it out. Your eyes are focused on your forehead, the middle of your eyebrows, without any effort, very gently, and just continue to watch your breath. And I'll start the chanting. Om.